due to a snap demonstration next to Sydney Town Hall that was being held for the people of Palestine, we found our usual spot was occupied by police vehicles. We were therefore forced to set up slightly further up George Street than we do usually.
Puts the United States as the most civilized nation. And so it was named over as a natural and whoever agreed to this was an utter lunatic. And I think it was give the United States what it wants. And the real lesson here for Aussies is that your government will not protect you. This is not a sovereign country, so they could have money to fight the legal defence. But the great United States, the most powerful country on earth,
callous and inhumane decision which has been delivered just before Christmas with no explanation or justification from the government. I want to show my husband and my kids that no matter what you are facing, it's important to stand up for what you believe in.
Truth about government will build a reign of power to stop the Sydney Town Hall free speech zone. Thank you. I don't need to tell you. The Vietnam War and the push for US involvement was a result of the Gulf of Tonkin incident. A lie.
Welcome to the 272nd Julian Assange Sydney Town Hall gathering. Controlling human beings is a difficult task. Human beings don't generally like to be controlled by others. Human beings often feel they should have the freedom to live their lives how they see fit and do not like to be ordered about by others who believe themselves to be superior. One way human beings may be controlled is through rewarding them with money when they do what is desired and administering punishment when they do what is not desired. This method of control works to some extent, but often leads to resentment, especially among those who believe that all human beings should be afforded a reasonable degree of equality. Human beings can be very effectively controlled if they don't suspect they are being controlled. This is done by influencing what they believe. People's belief can be influenced greatly through media. Drama, news, sport, opinion pieces, talk shows, and social media posts can all play roles in influencing what people believe. Our media are dominated by people who may be described as influencers. These influencers are generally charismatic and exceptional communicators. They speak or write clearly and generally have large followings. Those with the means to control people do so by rewarding top influencers handsomely. Top influencers who keep people believing what those in control want them to believe are able to continue influencing people's beliefs for reward. However, if an influencer ever decides to go against what the controllers of the large media platforms want, the influencer will find it extremely difficult to profit from influencing others. No mass influencers can effectively stand up for peace, justice and freedom and meaningfully sustain an effective presence in the media. Through the influence of influencers, the beliefs of many people are indirectly controlled, and those being controlled don't even realise they are being controlled. It is important that we are not controlled, because those who are doing the controlling are responsible for creating needless wars, genocide, and our oppression. It is important for people to understand how the world works. If people can understand that influencers are working against the interests of most people, those controlling the influencers will lose control of the people. Truth is powerful stuff. Truth will set us all free. Truth will defeat the corruption that enables war, genocide and our oppression. Join with us to spread the truth. Stand with us to show your support for truth and justice. The Assange movement continues. Free, free, free the truth. Free, free, free the truth. Free, free, free the truth. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Australians, we stand here today at a critical moment in our nation's history. A moment where free speech, the very foundation of a free and democratic society, is being dismantled under the guise of hate speech legislation. A moment where our government, instead of serving the people, bows down to the pressures of corporate elites and political agendas. A moment where speaking the truth has become a punishable act. This new hate speech law is not about protecting people from harm. It is about silencing dissent, suppressing uncomfortable truth, and making criminals out of those who dare to challenge the narrative. It is about control. It is about fear. Under these new laws, anything that is deemed offensive or harmful can be labeled as hate speech. But who decides what is offensive? Who determines what is harmful? The government? The bureaucrats? The powerful corporations that profit from keeping us silent? These laws will force people into self-censorship, afraid to speak up for fear of being accused of spreading hate. But let me be clear, freedom of speech is not about protecting speech that everyone agrees with. It is about protecting speech that challenges authority, that questions the mainstream narrative, that demands accountability. For the past 3 years, I have been persecuted, vilified, and dragged through endless legal battles. Not because I committed any crime, but because I dared to stand up for my patients. Because I spoke the truth about early treatment for COVID-19, and because I refused to bow down to the corporate machine that has taken over our health system. What started as an attack on me as a doctor, stripping me of my right to practice medicine, has now evolved into an attack of every Australian's right to think, to speak, and to decide for themselves. Under this new law, my case, and many like mine, will only be the beginning. If they can do this to a doctor, they can do this to anyone. If they can strip me of my profession for refusing to follow their script, what will they do to the next journalist, teacher, scientist, or citizen who dared to question the status quo? Make no mistake, this law is not about extremist or dangerous rhetoric. It is about shutting down opposition, preventing medical professionals from challenging pharmaceutical interests, stopping journalists from exposing government corruption, and keeping you in line. Julian Assange once said, quote, "One of the key ways in which states demonstrate the supremacy of their power is by violating their own rules," unquote. And isn't that exactly what we're seeing? A government that rewrites the rules whenever it suits them, that punishes those who refuse to comply, and that works hand in hand with Big Pharma, Big Tech, and unelected bureaucrats who crush anyone who dares to step out of line. If we let this law stand unchallenged, what comes next? Will doctors be able to question government health mandates? Will parents be punished for expressing concerns about their children are being taught in school? Will whistleblowers be jailed for exposing corruption? This is not just about my fight. It is about all of us. It is about every Australian's right to speak the truth without fear. We cannot let them redefine reality. We cannot let them silence us. We cannot let them make criminals out of citizens who dare to challenge the powerful. Today I ask you, will you stand for truth? Will you stand for freedom? Will you demand accountability from those who seek to take away your voice? This is not just one law. This is about the kind of country we want to live in. This is about whether Australia remains a free nation or becomes a land where truth itself is illegal. I refuse to be silent. I refuse to let them decide what I can or cannot say. And neither should you. Because as George Orwell once said, the further society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. Thank you.
Hi folks. David McBride has been in jail now for several months, and he has been granted an appeal against his sentence. That appeal will be heard in the Supreme Court in Canberra on the 3rd of March, in a couple of weeks. And I encourage you all, if you can, to attend that court hearing. But if you can't, please write to Mark Dreyfus, our Attorney General, and express your desire for justice to be served and for David McBride to be immediately released from his incarceration at the Alexander McConaughey Centre. He has done nothing wrong. He is a whistleblower that revealed the war crimes of our government and senior military figures during the Afghan war. Please speak up for David McBride. Thank you. Thanks, Tony.
We are all Assange.